All right, so this is the last one that we're working on. This is it. Well, we have the career site one, but right now this is the one that the last one I'll go over, and the last one, as far as you doing, is the career one. Okay, so here we go. Let's start with this 5.15.8 Aesop's Fables Part 4. So I already copied all the code. That was the first step. All right, I got that out of the way, right? Because we've been working on this one. So I copied all the code. Next, I'm gonna do this next step. Remove all animations. All right, so that we gotta go in there and get rid of everything. All right, so if you mess up, you can always go back and get your code. All right, so all the animations. So I know that this is an animation right here, right? Because we declared it and all that. So there we go. That's an animation. Let's get rid of it. This animation. Let's get rid of that. Filter. No, that's not a no no. We'll leave those alone for right now. We'll come back and deal with that, but I think that's okay. But anything with animation, and I think that's, I think so. Yeah, it looks about right. Okay, so we got that done. That was the first step, right? I'm gonna save it, and so I removed animation. All right, anything with animation that we were specifying what we wanted it to do, right? So now, what's the next step? Now let's use transitions to smoothly change the size of the book. So when the user hovers over an element with the class book, change the size of the book to have a height 400 and width. So it's gonna. Oh, okay, I see it. It's gonna get big. All right. So anything like that. So 400 by 300. All right. So now we're gonna add that uh, hover to the class book, right? So let's look for the class book. Got bookcase, book. There it is, and hover. That's what we want, right? And but we also need to add something else, right? What do we need to add? The height, right? It's gonna grow. Those books are gonna grow, right? So um, by 400, 300. So let's do that. Let's put that under here. So first and foremost, let me do this, guys. Hold on. Oh, you know what? Let me break this apart a little bit. Don't let this confuse you. All I did is I brought this down because I needed to see where I would begin next. There you go. Okay. Okay, I see what I'm doing. All right. So here we go. So we have hover, right? We're gonna add one more thing because we're gonna have it grow. So hover, book, hover, and actually we're gonna leave that alone. But we're gonna add the height in the. Let me go back to this thing. I just got confused. The class book size of height. Okay, 400 by 300. So there you go. So we're in the right one. That's the class book. Anytime something hovers over it, the image of that book is gonna get bigger by that. Uh, what they wanted, 400 by 300. So let's go height, and that was 400 by 300 px. And now we're gonna do width by 300 px. That's all they needed right there, guys. So we're done with that. Let me save it, and let me see what else they need. So we did that part. Then add the transition attribute to the class book so that the height width smoothly transition over the span of 2 seconds. Okay. So now we need to add that attribute. Okay. Just to the class book. So we don't need to add it to anything else, just to the class book. Before we're hovering, okay, so that's the difference. So now it's getting confusing. See, hover, so we did that. Now to the class book, we're doing 2 seconds where it transitions, right? So we're gonna look for the class book. There it is. All right, so now let me go. And if you're thinking, why didn't we do that there? I don't know why that wasn't, because we weren't doing hover. That's why hover's down there. Here, now we're gonna go ahead and do that. The 2 second thing, right? Transition. So we're gonna go transition, right? And next we're gonna go. The transition is gonna be a height and width. So height of 2 seconds, right? It was a 2 second transition. The height and width, 2 seconds. So now we do the width. So that's the transition width. 2 seconds. There you go. And we don't have to do a transition with transition. We can just put it on one line. Remember, as long as we provide that space and we provide a comma. If not, I'm gonna get an error. or it's not going to work. No error, it just won't work. All right, so let's test it out. Let's save it, and let's see. We're almost, well, let's finish this. Okay, next. So we did that. Now, making the text visible. Once you have the book growing smoothly, let's add the text in the book. So let's see. Let's see if it does grow smoothly. There you go. It's running. It's kind of weird. It does it like a double take or something. Oh, okay, cool. It's doing actually this smooth transition, guys. If you go to a big window, it will do that. Look at that. That looks good. That looks a lot better. And this one, well, we took the animation out. That should have transitioned. But anyways, that looks good. All right, so let's go back. All right. So we did that. All right. Now, since we want to change this element when we hover over the book, we need a rule for when the user hovers over an element with a class book, right? So when they go over the class book, hover, we need the text, right? Because that's what they're talking about now, visible. So however, the element that should be affected is the element with the class text. Thus, we must make a rule that chooses the child of the book that has a class text when we hover over the book. Okay, don't let all that confuse you guys. So they pretty much, look, they're writing it right here. This is the answer. The selector looks like this. Class book. It's going to hover only on the first child of text that has a class text. Thus, we must make a rule that chooses child of a book that has a class text. See? So the first child that it has, not the first child, but the child that has the class text will get that effect. So inside this rule, so I'm going to copy this so you can see what I'm talking about. So inside the rule, make the elements visible using the visibility attribute. So visibility, visible, make the width. Okay, so we can come back and do this one at a time. So let's get this one out of the way. Let's go look for this. So dot book, so class hover text, right? So let's go check it out. Let me see. I don't remember seeing it, but it's probably in here. Huh. Okay, so I'm not gonna put it here because this is already something we've already created that's separate. We don't need to mess with this, okay? Because it has its unique attributes that we've set to it. So let's create another one. It's not repeating myself. I'm adding because we're specifying something else. That's why. So I'm gonna go book colon hover, almost the same, identical to that. Remember, I even copied it. Let's put what I copied. There it is. See, I copied it from the actual exercise instructions right here. It told me that's what I needed to do. Now we can add these properties and attributes and values, right? So let's do that. Let's start with visibility. Okay, it's the wording that makes it really confusing. That's all it is, guys. So we're gonna do visibility, and we're gonna make it visible, right? That's what they want, the text to be visible. Next, let's look at what's the next, because there's quite a few. Make the width, so width of 250 px. That's all. Real simple. We've done it a billion times already. Width of what was it? 250. 250. Okay, next. Give it the following padding rule. So okay, so top, right, bottom, left side. All right. So you know what? It is pretty much they've given us the way it's supposed to be written out anyways. All right. Literally, they just wrote it out for us. So all we got to do is just copy that. 7550. Let me do that one first. So padding, right? Did I say 75? Yeah, 75. 75 px and then 50. I can't remember now. Right? No comma, because we're just gonna space it out. It all goes together, okay? And then 50 px. As long as we put that space in between, all right? There's a difference from this one and the other one we worked on earlier, but anyways, 75 50 75 50 0 20, just like that. 0. So 0 px, and then oh my god, I forgot which one it was. 20. 0 and 20. There it is. Okay, so let me save it. What else do they want? There's a one way to set the pattern. Okay. Finally, add the transition attribute. Okay, so one more step. Finally, add the transition attribute to the class text so that the width and the padding smoothly transition over a span of 2 seconds. All right. So this is gonna be a little tough one. So finally, add the transition out to the class text. So let's look for the class text. And there it is. So we got position, text, visibility, font size. Another one is add a transition. So let me just, I'll just start with typing it out, right? So I'm gonna do that because it's that class transition. And they wanted to span it out for a certain amount of, is it the padding or, let me go back. So we got transition, width. The width, it should be a width and the padding. So the padding of 2 seconds. So the width and the padding 2 seconds. So let me go back. Okay, so I got a little confused. So I'm gonna put the padding first. Padding of 2 seconds. And then, well, now we need a comma because these are two different properties that we're adding, or two attributes. Okay, we'll call them attributes at this point because they're inside. So this attribute, the next one's going to be a width, and I believe it's 2 seconds too because that's all they said, and that's it. So if we run it, I believe this will be the answer. There you go. The text is visible now. The text was already in there, by the way, because it was here. So, and if I run the code checker, there it is. So that is the answer, guys. I will remember, pause the video if you need to. I moved around quite a bit on this one, so you may definitely need to pause the video at a lot of points. All right. I'm not gonna copy all the code because there's just too much. We had a lot of steps in here. My recommendation is to just watch this video, pause it where I'm doing certain things. All right. Just copy what I'm doing. Because at this point we're just finishing up, we're wrapping everything up now. Okay, we didn't get a chance to really dig in on these type of tags that you're adding, these elements, these styles. We didn't get a chance to do all that. We covered the basics. This is a little more advanced now. Okay, but you guys did great. All right, so pat yourself on the back. You completed this. You got one more to go, which is going to be, and I'll show you which one before I end this video. This is the last one. Last video for me to you guys. Here it is. Let me see. So this one's a career site. You know what you need to do. Complete this. If you get stuck, just get a hold of me. I'll help you out. All right. Anyways, it was fun this semester with you guys. Wish I would have been here the full year, but it's been great, guys. And I hope that you did get something out of it. I hope I didn't ruin it for you and not liking programming. Programming is actually pretty cool. So it's just that we try to get a lot in before the semester ended. All right. Well, good luck in your futures, and until some other time. Bye.